All you have to do is Google the Defo Show. You can find us anywhere, audio and video streaming. And we wish we had video of this lovely young lady who's about to join us here on the program. One of our favorites, because guy could walk into a bar and sit down having a discussion with one of his friends and say, hey, you know what? Who's the backup second baseman for the Jumbo Shrimp? And then this beautiful girl chimes in out of, nowhere. Hey, it's Ozzie Smith, and knows it. Jessica Blaylock could do that because very knowledgeable and tremendous job covering both the Florida Panthers and the Miami Marlins for Bally Sports Florida. We welcome to the show one of our favorites here, the lovely Jessica Blaylock. Jessica, how are you? How have you been?
I am great. You guys always give me the best introduction.
Good morning.
I love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's great to have you on the show. And we were saying earlier when we were introducing and promoting the fact that you're going to be joining us, which we were very excited about, because there are a lot of interesting things happening on both of the fronts that you are most prominently associated with. But, we were saying that this is one of those deals where, there's reason to be excited, which is a nice thing for a change. We got all excited last year after that kind of hybrid season they had with COVID-19 in 2020, and then it fell flat with the Marlins. And of course, the Panthers have been selling false hope, or so it seems forever, as we say here in the city of False Hope, South Florida. But it looks like some of this stuff is starting to manifest itself. So let's start on the ice first here. Very interesting start to the season where they were winning every game. How much were you, sort of amazed by that? Because you were thinking, well, this has to stop at some point. But that team looked great. I mean, as good as anybody in the NHL coming out of the chute.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not surprised by what the Florida Panthers have done whatsoever, because I think we saw it really come together last season. And I always go back to really the culture change that the Panthers went through during last season, especially due to bringing in guys like Patrick Hornquist and Radko Gudas. And then you look at what they did, this season, adding another veteran presence like Joe Thornton and, just the way Anthony Duclair started the year, off to a career best before he got hurt, the continuous development of players who have been around for a while, like Jonathan Huberdeau, like Alexander Barkov, Aaron Ekblad, who was having a Norris-type trophy season last year before he got hurt, returning this year fully healthy. Mackenzie Weegar, Gustav Forsling stepping up last year. I mean, you can go down the list and name so many reasons why the expectations were there for the Florida Panthers, not only based on what they did last year and battling Tampa in the first round of the playoffs. And unfortunately, that was such a brutal draw to get the Lightning, who eventually went on to win the Cup again. But, there was every reason to think the Panthers were going to start the season the way that they have. And so I don't think I was surprised at all by the way they started. I think this is what you hoped and expected to see, especially knowing the progress the team made last year.
We're talking with Jessica Blaylock here. Jessica, she's with Bally Sports Florida. Follow her up on Twitter at Jess Blaylock. She's so much fun on Twitter, and she really knows her stuff, as you just heard her go through the entire lineup. Names Defo and I had never even heard of, and she's naming them like they're stars, so that's why we always love talking to Jessica. What's interesting is we were so sort of frustrated by that draw last year because they played great all year, and then they were in the division where they had 3 of the top 5 favorites for the whole thing. So facing the Lightning in the first round sort of sucked. However, as we've seen with the NHL and the NBA, a lot of the time you have to sort of take your lumps. To me, it feels like that series worked wonders for them. Like, it let them know what the playoffs are all about. They were in it with the Lightning. Really, probably the toughest draw for the Lightning. And it feels like they've sort of taken that into this season. Like, do you think that series has anything to do with their great start? Has given them some confidence knowing that they can stick with the best of the best?
Yeah, I think that's spot on. And again, you go back to the point you made of there's truth to having to learn how to win, especially in the postseason. And it was the first time since the 2015-2016 season that the Panthers had been to the playoffs and obviously lost to the Islanders in that playoff round. And I still say that Vincent Trocheck was tripped and will forever claim that Trocheck was tripped.
That was a tough series.
But you know what I mean? So, yes, and you look at a team like the Lightning, who had just previously, the year before, won the Stanley Cup. And there is truth to, you have to learn how to win, especially in the postseason. And I always go back to thinking one of the most significant moments from that playoff series was, the game, game 6, the final minutes of the third period when, the game kind of finally feels out of reach. You're about to go home, and we show the bench and you see Jonathan Huberdeau just sitting devastated, head down, almost looking like he was tearing up in a sense. And I feel like that moment was so significant to show how badly this team wanted it, right? How badly this team, now has no tolerance for losing, has no tolerance for not making a deep playoff run. And I think that, again, it was such a tough draw in the first round. And it was going to be a tough draw no matter what, because you were going to get either Carolina, who matched up really well against the Panthers, or you were going to get the Lightning, who take it to another level, in the playoffs. So, but I feel like they took a lot away from that, knowing what needed to be better, learning how tough it is to have postseason success, and just applying all those lessons they learned into the start of this season.
We were a little startled. I don't know if you can catch the video, Jessica, wherever you're calling us from, but all of a sudden, Lubie's Don Cherry. It's amazing how a winning team makes guys that know zero about hockey or and haven't watched a game in 2 years.
I watched that series.
All of a sudden, we're all experts now. That Nikita Khrushchev guy, too, for Tampa Bay. When you have a maniacal ruling despot on your team, you're going to be very tough out, as they say in the postseason. My observation would be this. Did Bobrovsky have cataract surgery? This guy last year, unfortunately, people thought maybe the money was weighing him down a little bit, and then he was sort of tilting to the right side because he kept that $70 million in his right pocket while he was playing games. But all of a sudden, he came back to the form that he demonstrated, many years ago with Columbus, where he almost carried them into the finals.
Right. Yeah, and I think talking to him multiple times early on in the season, nobody works harder than Sergei Bobrovsky. Nobody cares more than Sergei Bobrovsky.
How is he to talk to, by the way, Jessica? Is he, very fluent English, or do you hear like a little broken Russian in there? I see puck, stop puck.
He's awesome. He's awesome. Great. I don't think anybody put more pressure on himself or he was very candid about how disappointed he was and how he knew he needed to be better. And he worked really hard during the off season, tweaked a couple things, with his presence in the net. And I think a big thing was he became a new dad, right before the start of the season. He got off social media. He stopped, listening to the outside noise. He shut down all distractions. He focused on his family, and he said he focused on knowing, what a joy it was to play hockey when he was at the rink. And I think those things have made a huge difference for him because, he's been unbelievable to start the season. And, that's exactly what the Panthers need. And you look at why the Panthers have gotten off to the start that they've gotten off to. It's because there's not one guy that's carrying the load. There are multiple lines that can score. The defensemen, we know that with the Panthers, the blue liners love to activate offensively. They're getting great goaltending, whether it's Sergei Bobrovsky, whether it's Spencer Knight. So, look at how well they've been playing without Alexander Barkov and Anthony Duclair, who are two significant playmakers. So, they're getting contributions from all over the place, and they've had so many different guys step up that there's no pressure on one player to have to carry the load.
Jessica Blaylock with us here, and we're going to have to invite you back to talk about the Marlins. We got into this whole Panther thing. Joe Thornton, by the way, broke in with Rod Gilbert. That struck me. That's what you have to love about the NHL. You'll get one of these old salty dogs like Chara, and they're still functional and, digging pucks out of the corner, as Thornton is known to do. And as you said, maybe that provides that veteran leadership that everybody's always talking about, the very, largest of intangibles in all the sport. I did want to ask you about this because we mentioned you the other day, and we were talking about how we wanted to get you on the show here, Jessica Blaylock from Bally Sports Florida. And, one of my favorite things, you were one of the great, and you're doing more hosting of pregame and between period intermission shows now, post-game shows, and you're great there with Jovanovski, whoever they pair you with. Even Minervini tries to steal the show. You do a tremendous job of warding him off and, getting your points across. But I used to love it when you did the in-game stuff, and you had a little Anthony Bourdain in you, Jessica Blaylock, when you were doing some of those in-game reports on the Marlins games. And we were trying to figure out, what was it, Mike Mayo, who was a food critic for the Sun Sentinel, and I were trying to figure out, was it in Seattle that you ate like chocolate-covered grasshoppers, which were served at the concession stands?
I wish they were chocolate-covered. That they probably would have been way better if they were chocolate covered. I ate grasshoppers, and they were basically like roasted and seasoned with different spices. But they were awful. And I guess
you couldn't get Van Horn to do that one.
I think he did try them actually as well. So one of the pieces that I got, unfortunately, was not crunchy. It was more juicy.
Oh no!
So I was not partaking in any more of the Seattle grasshoppers.
Oh my god!
On BC Marlins together.
I have to admit, I wouldn't have minded taking a pass on that one. You did have me, though, with whatever that sandwich was or something. It was like nachos sandwich. It was incredible at some ballpark. Maybe it was barbecue, but it was sloppy. And you had a lot of courage to go ahead and try that while holding a microphone. I give her credit. And take a bite, man. What was that thing, and where was it?
I'm trying to remember because I've tried so many different things.
It was like disgusting with barbecue sauce. I mean, like it was a cardiologist's dream. They were already racking up expenses and billing whatever insurance company you had.
Nancy Brothers sandwich in Pittsburgh that had French fries and all this stuff loaded on top of it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I'd have to go back through my record book of all the different things that I tried. My personal favorite was when I participated in trapeze school in Washington, D.C. That was a good one.
Oh, tremendous. And Minervini, it was always the same thing with Minnie. He was always by the pool there in Arizona with a couple of bikini-clad babes who were barely wearing pasties and a G-string. And he would say, like, this is how you approach baseball these days. Great stuff, as always, Jessica. Can you come back soon and talk about the Marlins and their off-season with us? We would love it if you could.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Thanks, Jessica.
All right. Always great. Thanks so much for being with us here.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in the Plantation location because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. Their hours have changed a little bit. Monday through Thursday from 3:30 to 10, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from 11:30 to 10. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Play the ponies in style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.